Hey, my name's Shawnshawn. I sell art at shawnshawn.co. Today we're going to react to Gary Lou art. So Gary Lou is based out of California. He's an oil painter. So he has just a little, at the top on his homepage, he has a detail shot of one of his paintings, and I think this is a larger shot because in Google you have to do several different layers. You might want to relook this. He has a nice logo, GL, which is kind of cool, I think. And just some things connected to painting, drawing, all laid up here. Maybe you should have some brushes maybe in the screen. Might improve it a little bit more, but I think that's a pretty nice shot. Here's a side shot of him. It's off center, so I would center this because this is just off. Black and white, so that's kind of unusual. It's an interesting take to do black and white. He has how to paint portraits as one of his intro videos, so that's kind of nice, kind of get one of those how-to videos as a stop. Popular videos at the top, which I always encourage us to do that first. That's the best way to get new viewers, which are probably 90-95% of your viewers. They're going to see your popular videos and start binge watching this and increase your watch time and maybe make them a subscriber as well, so I think that's the smartest way to go. He has videos and shorts, and that's it. He does focus on portraits, but if he starts to go into landscapes, he could split that up into portraits and landscapes as a subtopic within videos. So let's go to the first video. How I paint this portrait in 7 minutes, time-lapse painting video. So a nice classical music. It's very typical for realism painting. They usually add this because that's what you'd have at the gallery. He's doing a vertical shot, so for videos I would shoot horizontal. If you're doing TikTok or shorts, you do a vertical, so that's kind of a quandary. Probably used it as chopped it into shorts or TikTok, so you could probably chop this up and just make it into a smaller TikTok or short, so maybe that's why I shot it this way, but I like it when you shoot it horizontal. Let's scroll a little bit further. So there's no headshot, there's no talking, so that would have been nice to add a voiceover or a little talking to kind of describe your process. Because right now we just see you develop the painting, but we don't know anything about the painter per se. It's got some really bright lights on the woman. I'm going to scroll a little bit further, guys. Here's changing up some of his detail shots. He's got a nice painterly feel to the painting. A lot of brushstroke feel to the painting, so that's really nice. There's not blended too much, just very general strokes. It's funny because probably in the Middle Ages, the Renaissance, they say, oh, this is the beginning of the painting when they fine-tune it, but since you have photography, it's good to leave those kind of brushstrokes like that. Let's scroll a little further. He's adding her arm into the photo, which kind of brings the energy around, so that's kind of pretty interesting composition-wise, I would say. Scroll close to the end, guys. So very nicely done painting wise. I would just add maybe a headshot in here, explain who you are, kind of the painting process would improve the video. He's using gloves so he keeps his hands clean, so that's smart. You don't have to wash your hands as thoroughly when you get done. Let's go to the next video. The next painting is called Oil Painting Time-Lapse Sparkler 2. Oil Painting Time-Lapse is nice. You might want to add your name in here by Gary Lou maybe. So again, he's doing it vertical to do kind of TikToks and shorts out of this later, but I would do horizontal cut. It's kind of annoying to do with this, but shorts and TikToks are more popular, so I get why painters are doing this. So again, TikTok, classical music in the background. It's got a really nice shuttle, like painting with the big brush, which is kind of nice. You get the blocking and shading very nicely. Let's scroll ahead a little bit, guys. This time he has more brilliant color, which I really like. Kind of an orangey hue to her face, so maybe he needs to tone that down a little bit. A little bit oversaturation on the hues, I would say, but obviously great realist painting. Let's scroll ahead a little bit more, guys. Still very orangey to me, like she's getting a suntan, but that orange is way too bright. But the hair looks a little big in the back, like her hair is maybe a little big. So a tiny bit of proportion issues possibly here, but I mean, it's early in the painting. It's interesting, one hand's open but not the other, so it's kind of like, I wonder what happened to the other hand. Let's scroll a little bit more faster. So doing a sparkler. I like the details he has as far as like the highlights. It really makes the painting pop. It just adds just a little bit, which is really nice. Let's make it really pop. Especially with the really bright light of the sparkler, you would have pretty harsh lights of your bone structure. I think that hair would be highlighted too, like a lot, which right now it's not. Let's go to the very end here. So it's left pretty rough. You can tell it's definitely painted. It's almost like he did a pastel drawing. It's pretty interesting. So the final painting is really good. It's interesting. The earlier versions, it doesn't really come until the end, but you have that with a lot of painters. The painting won't really come really 100% until the very final moment when they really sharpen things. So it's interesting to see some painters you see it earlier on in the process, and other people it's just like you don't see anything else, and bam, the painting's there. Like some of the rougher paintings I've seen. This video is called "How I Paint Glowing Hair," so you might want to add painting in there, oil painting perhaps in the title. So again, vertical versus horizontal. I would encourage you to do a lot more horizontal for your main videos. Because if you're watching this at your TV, you're going to be kind of annoyed and skip it. To have 3/4 of the screen blacked out. Just a minor thing. But I think he's painting mostly vertical, so maybe that's why he's filming it vertically, because you can get more of the painting in there. But you could do like nice background shots of the studio and kind of center in. Let's skip ahead a little bit. So it's interesting, his color's a little bit not classical painting, or not classical colors, I'd say, for the skin color. They're a little bit like brighter reds, brighter oranges, so he's kind of playing around with his different textures for skin. Proportions are really great. So it's interesting, the whole video is called "How I Paint Glowing Hair," but there's no voiceover to explain it, so it's like, yeah, I see you painting glowing hair, but it's nice to have that voiceover to kind of talk about that. I like how rough his hair is too. It's just very blocky, left in there. Let's scroll ahead a little bit, guys. So it's really nice because he's leaving a lot of thick brush strokes here versus very tiny brush strokes. He is adding a couple tiny brush strokes here and there to really make certain parts of like the eyebrows or a few hairs pop out. But generally he's using a bigger brush, which is really nice to have those bigger brush strokes on a portrait and then kind of hone it down later. It's interesting because he's an Asian American, but he doesn't paint any Asians yet, at least as far as I've seen. But there are more collectors probably of European facial looks. At least has a lot of classical art collectors are in Europe or America, so that makes sense to paint it that way. China's basically a new market. Japan, they do more landscape, so it's not as typical. So it's kind of interesting how if you pick portraits, then you get one look, but if you do landscapes, you get another look. So, or calligraphy, you get another look. So a lot of calligraphy is mostly Islamic. There's also graffiti, but so it's interesting how each different style within art kind of defines it. into certain rhythms or religions or whatever have you. Let's scroll ahead a little bit more. It's closer to the end, guys. They're starting to fine tune the hand. The hair is pretty good. I'm just seeing if it comes together at the very end. You can't really tell. It looks pretty blocky right now, but it'll come together more at the end. Like, look at the lips, just juicy. And it's nice and rough in the rest of the painting, so it's, you know, very painterly, which is really cool. So you can tell it's a painting versus just a photograph. So a lot of rough elements still left over, so that's pretty interesting. So the next thing we'll do is we'll look at his website. So the website has the same logo from the YouTube, which is really smart to have that same logo. You have a lot of brand consistency. It's GaryLouArt.com, so that's very smart to add art in the name. It gives you more of a punch that you know, oh, it's Gary Lou, but which kind of Gary Lou? Oh, it's the artist Gary Lou, right? So branding wise, that's really solid. He has 3 things: original fine art prints, about the artist. So we'll just start from the top. It's interesting, he has fine art prints to start collecting, so you can start at the bottom layer. So he probably gets beginner collectors mostly. So that's really smart to kind of pull them in initially to the print selection. Super affordable, only 41 bucks for these high quality prints, just amazing quality. 8x10. He's got 3 different print options. Very, very affordable art, really good. Very simple details about the art. Not much about the artist here on the about this drawing, but that's okay. I mean, it's just about a drawing. The one thing I would add is kind of like how it would size up against a different wall, so you get a different feel of the artwork. This is just the art itself, which is fine, but you don't know if there's a giant painting and then it's sized down. So for the prints, it'd be nice to print off each one of them and then put them against the wall, kind of like this is what it might look like, because that'll give the viewer more of a thing how it looks like at their house. You don't have that here, so that would be nice. You obviously want one painting at least, one photo at least of the art itself, just detailed, that's it. But you also want those in the situ kind of look. Let's go to the originals. Original same layout. So 1300, I guess, you know, for this 11x14 makes sense. I think he's really high quality portrait artist, so you can charge this much and get away with it. He has shipping, just very simple. Comes with a certificate of authenticity, 11x14. So in this case, he has added a little bit more detail than the print, which I think makes sense. He got the details of the shot. You got on the easel. So here you have a little bit of what it might look like in person. Light number 16. The titles I'm not too thrilled with, but I mean, he's a highly accomplished painter, so I don't think people really care that much about the title, but the titles aren't my favorite, but really, really beautiful artwork. He also has You May Also Like, which is pretty smart. It leads you into other style of related art. That's pretty smart. I haven't thought of that myself, so I might add that to my own website. Simple detail shots, a little bit how it looks, but he doesn't have it like on a wall so you see what it looks like. This is really cool on Instagram. Instagram people like this for some reason, with the paintbrush and that you know it's a painting in the background, but you also want the shot of what does it look like on the wall. So I think you can add that. Let's go to the about page. About the artist, he just has some detailed shots here. It should be a picture of himself, I think. Started at 3, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't have any photo of himself, so if you're gonna do an exhibition, you kind of want to know what the painter looks like, so that's kind of like, I would add a photo of yourself. Maybe he's scared of the Chinese party, I don't know, but there's this button here, I don't know what this does. Oh, this is the cart. So what you could add on this website, he has original fine arts about. That's pretty simple. He could also do videos, so demonstrations. So if somehow someone found this without the YouTube and they came from Instagram or they came from Facebook and they're like, oh, what's this? And he has a contact page. Let's look at the contact page real quick. So contact just really quick, email about the studio, questions, whatever. So really simple website. He has free shipping across the US under 50. He has a search page. So very simple layout. I might add just a video page to kind of see like, hey, here's how my painting works. You could use some of your best examples of portrait and just put it on there and kind of talk about it yourself. That would add a lot more to this page, I think. Yeah, more of a personal connection. Why he likes portraits and how he does his artwork and kind of the materials he uses. So you already have that material on YouTube. Just maybe we'll put a YouTube page in here that just has your YouTubes. And you have the danger of people just go to the YouTube and get lost in YouTube, but it does, you know, kind of ground the website more. But that's Gary Lou. Hopefully you guys like it. If you'd like to subscribe, you can subscribe more below. And I'll see you on the next Artist React video. Bye, guys.